In Season 3, the wilderness of northern Sweden plays home to our next battlefield, where the location of Nordvig's semi-autonomous manufacturing facilities, known as the Cubes, are vital for both factions to control. Welcome to Spearhead. Secure flags A1 and A2 with your squad to create a staging ground to launch your attack, or it may well become a dangerous foothold for the enemy to claim deep in your territory. Crossing the open river, the communications outpost provides overwatch for your backlines, and the best place on the map to spot clear paths for attacking the cube. On the opposing side, the enemy will take early control of 2 capture points across the painting facility at E1 and E2, before fighting on to the material storage in D sector. Here, you'll fortify for the fight, taking great care not to send your fire skyward, or you'll risk this pressure cooker becoming too hot to handle. Cross the river to take control of the drone landing and give your team the foothold they need to secure the area. There's cover surrounding you on all sides, with threat from the drone landing and caution at the containers down below. But the manufacturing facility is what everyone's fighting for. Assault through the front door, make your own holes, or give the enemy a rude awakening via the ventilation systems. Inside, move with cover and navigate your way through the all-out destruction while your squad watches the flanks. It's loud, it's dangerous, and it's exactly where you want to be. When you've cleared the site, lock it down. You won't be alone for long. Good luck, Nopads.
Hey folks, welcome to another Dev Corner. My name is Tom from the Battlefield community team here at DICE. Season 3 is available for play right now, and with me are Alex and Florian. Guys, Season 3 is out. How are you feeling?
Very happy to be here. I mean, Season 3 is going to be amazing. I think players will love it. The new weapons, the new vehicles, the new map, it's going to be great.
Cool. What about you, Alex?
Well, hello, I'm back. I have pretty good stuff to talk about today because we're super excited about the new weapons. We finally round out the trifecta of shotguns, and we have a new hot one coming that we'll talk about more later.
Okay, awesome. So we've got a new map, new specialist, 3 new weapons, 2 new vault weapons, new vehicle, gadget, and of course a new battle pass with lots of new shinies to unlock. Let's start talking about the new map first. The new map for Season 3 is called Spearhead. Florian, can you talk us through the gameplay on this map?
Yeah, so it's a map located in the Swedish wilderness. It's a map where there are 2 big cubes. It's the Nordvig facilities, where weapons are produced, and there's also weather machines, I think. It's a very CQC-focused map with a bunch of areas that are super cool to play as infantry. Plays really well in Conquest and Breakthrough in particular. And I think people really like it.
So we've got the areas on the map are the forward operating base, communications outpost, printing facility, material storage, and painting facility. Which of these areas do you think is where we can expect the coolest gameplay on the map?
I think it's the painting facility, specifically from playing this map in Breakthrough. You get a lot of back and forth between the helipad and the cube, and it's really, really fun. You have a lot of close quarters, intense gunfights, but also when you cross the river to go on the helipad side, you get to have tanks and different vehicles to fight against. It's super interesting.
Very chaotic as well.
It is.
Yeah. And the printing facility, I think I'm looking forward to this is the close quarters combat space where you go inside the building. There's lots of corners where you can sneak into other folks. You can fight your way through the walls, so when you go in, you can blast open the walls, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. What about you, Alex? Anything specific on the map you're looking forward to?
Same, and super partial to the facilities, like the 3 of them.
Yeah.
I love my close combat quarters, I love my meat grinder, so it's a really good opportunity to have more combat in short distances. It's really good.
And it's right in the middle of the map as well, so you fight your way through the middle part where you go inside the building, very close quarters focus, and then you go out in the open again towards the next areas. In terms of weapons play on the map, Alex, Maybe anything you can share?
Yeah, so this map fortunately has a lot of spaces for like multiple weapon categories, because even when you have to cross the river between the two facilities, there is a lot of open area for like sniper rifles to shine, and DMRs have a lot of space over there. If you're playing Breakthrough before you get to the facilities, like between A and B, there's also like a lot of areas for like long-range combat weapons to shine. And then as soon as you get into like the first or the second cube, then SMGs have a lot of space. Shotguns especially have a lot of space. I think it's a very varied map, and everything has a space.
Folks, if you want to check out the new map Spearhead, a 24/7 playlist is available right now for both Conquest and Breakthrough, which then brings us to the new weapons for Season 3. So Alex, we got the Rorsch MK4, NVK P125, and NVK S22. Can you talk us through the gameplay for these weapons?
Absolutely, and here's where I go into nerd mode. So let's begin with the shotgun. It's a Nordvik S22. It's a dual-barrel, single-shot shotgun, like semi-automatic. It has 2 loading tubes that can be loaded individually. And it finally completes the 3 main functionality of shotguns, right? Like we already have a pump action, we already have a full auto shotgun, and this is the semi-auto one. It's super strong in close combat quarters. It can load up to 12 shells, which is like way more than the pump action. The reload takes longer to complete, and it doesn't have that many attachments to be available, especially like in the under barrel section and so on. But it comes with like the 2 types of shells, like slugs and buckshot, and I think it's like a very, very strong option, especially has a lot of space to shine in this map. Then the Nordvik, the P125. It's a very unusual pistol with a bullpup design, not very common. And thanks to the increased length of the barrel, then it's a perfect gun for like medium and long range combat. So we already have the M44 revolver for like the complete sniping experience on a sidearm. This will be something akin to like your DMR experience on a sidearm, right? It's like a medium to long range combat. And it has a very good damage profile that we expect that you will find it strong, on the strong side. But it acts as a guideline for us to where we want other sidearms to go to. So this will be like a spearhead on where do we want to do the damage profiles for the sidearms. And then my favorite one, it's the railgun, right? The Rorsch Mark IV. So this one went through a lot of iterations internally, because obviously we started with the Last Stand DLC version of Battlefield 4 one, the Rorsch Mark I. And that one was like a single fire, charge, shoot, 1 kill at any range. But when you extend that to like every player can use it, then problems arise. And then, oh, this is so unbalanced. How is it possible? And in volumes, it didn't went so good. So we had to make a lot of compromises. Like, okay, so it became a 2-shot kill, and it's hit scan or not. So it iterated a lot to get the result that we have today. The most interesting part of this weapon is that it's a charge-based weapon. So you have to hold the trigger before the shot actually comes out. And this is effective in the 3 fire modes that you can get by swapping the underbarrel attachment. So it's an array of capacitors, like a battery. And depending on the configuration that it has, you can fire single shot, full auto, or burst. And each mode basically accelerates the bullet at different speeds. So it becomes a proper sniper or an assault rifle or an SMG-ish type of weapon. It's a really good weapon.
Yes, it sounds extremely versatile, basically. Looking forward to checking that one out. What about you, Florian? Your favorite of
it has to be the Rorsch, right? I mean, it gives me flashbacks to Season 1 when we released the BSVM, which was also a very, very versatile weapon. Going from a sniper rifle type of weapon to assault rifle, if you want to enter close quarter combat, is super nice. So I'm very much looking forward to this weapon going out.
Cool. And I'm going to quote you here, Alex, for the shotgun. I believe you said it wrecks. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in play as well. It's very strong, and like it's different than the other shotguns we had. So I'm just, since it's new, I'm excited to see that in play and like how players will use it.
Yeah, me too.
Which brings us to the new vault weapons. So we've got the XM8 LMG and the A91. Can you talk about those as well?
Yeah, so the A91, it's not a very special weapon. It's like a very average medium range assault rifle. It comes with like the whole variety of attachments that they come in with Portal. But we made some adjustments to it, and I think it's on the stronger side. We don't want to repeat again another like M16 when we first released it and it wasn't as good as the others.
No.
So this one should be in a much better place. And then on the XM8 LMG, we picked the LMG variant basically because we have a slot to fill there. Yep. And since this one, it's an assault rifle that happens to be a little bit bigger and has the double drum configuration, which is like very looker. It looks super interesting. Then we went for that one. It's very controllable. It has like a big magazine, but then it has a little bit of like horizontal recoil, which is harder to compensate for, especially in controllers. So we hope that it will be like middle of the pack here.
And Alex, like, how do you see these new Vault weapons fitting into the all-out warfare arsenal?
So the A91, it's another very similar to like where the AK is currently, which is like it's not super strong. It's also not the worst one, so it will be usable. Then the XM8 definitely won't be another Avances, like for sure. But it should be very close to where the LCMG is today. So we expect like a good usage. And in the map, there is plenty of opportunities alongside the river to use LMGs, especially bipod in the mountain. So we hope it's going to be fine.
Awesome. I think especially the XM8 feels nice. It just feels very nice while shooting it. So.
Yeah, it's a very unique look, right? And for people that have been playing Bad Company too, it's a clear weapon you like to really see back in the battlefield.
Expect some nice nostalgic feelings. Then we also have the new vehicle for the season, the EMK-V90 Tor, which is a siege tank. Can you talk about this one, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. So the narrative went into like Nordic facility manufacturer railgun technology, right? So we already have the portable one on the Soldiers, and of course we had to be bigger. And this acts as a segue to what we did in 2142, where there was a stationary railgun. So in this case, we have the new tank that has like same mechanic as the portable one, the charge up shot before it goes, and it's hit scan. The projectile is incredibly fast. But the amazing part of the tank is that it's the first tank that comes with two mobility modes. So it comes in the assault mode, where the tank remains the tall profile, and it can move really fast along the battlefield. It can relocate super fast. And then it can lower itself, going to siege mode, where the rate of fire and damage profile of the weapon increases. So it's like a super strong tank. It becomes a little bit vulnerable, especially to like sneaky people using like rocket launchers and so on to take it down when it's in siege mode. But if it can properly place itself, it can be devastating. Especially
in the siege mode, like, you do not want to get in the way of this tank. It's very strong. It also wrecks, to quote you from earlier. And the active threat detection, the last feature of the tank.
Yeah, so in the tank features a passive ability, which is amazing. And every time that someone is trying to hurt you, like whether by throwables or by actives, then they will get highlighted on your HUD to tell you like from where they are shooting at you.
That's pretty cool. And you can also see in the UI if you're in siege or mobility mode to help you understand in which mode you're in right now. Brings us to the specialist for the season, Rashid Zain. Florian, do you want to talk about him?
Yeah, so Zain is our Season 3 specialist. It's an assault specialist, first of all. It comes with the XM370A, which is, for people that play Battlefield 4, a similar airburst rifle to the XM25 that we had back then. It's a more futuristic version, a revision of the XM25, essentially. It comes with, basically the functionality of the airburst is that you aim somewhere, you set a certain range, and then it will explode exactly where you aim. The main utility of that is that you can flush people out of behind covers. So if someone is hiding behind a cover or behind a corner of a doorway, you aim at the door, and then you set the range to the door, and then you aim at the door, and then you will be able to kill people that are right behind the door. It's very strong. It's pretty balanced, though. It doesn't really take like one hit to kill, of course. It takes multiple hits, but it has really strong advantages of, well, being able to shoot people that are not really visible in your sight. Zain also has a trait, which is called Perseverance. When Zain kills someone, it will also start regenerating health immediately, which makes him very fit for close quarter spaces where it will be first to run in, get a kill, get a reset with the health regen, and be able to start fighting someone else right after. So for people that are very agile in those spaces, getting those recovery all the time is super good. Good players will probably like playing Zane, I feel like.
The airburst rifle, do you foresee that being used mainly as to kill people, or is it more to actually flush them out? It's not really great for actually killing someone.
Well, it depends. I think players that will be static will probably not like playing against Zane. Like sniper rifles on top of a building, for example, really strong against that, because if you are on the move, Zane won't be a problem to you because you need to hit a target multiple times. But if you're static, it will take you, for example, a bit more time to either remove your bipod or just stand up in the first place. So Zane will be able to hit multiple follow-up shots, which might kill you. But the primary purpose is to try to get some players out of being behind a cover. So for attackers, for example, in certain game modes where you know what, this position is really hard to shoot people from because it's very well protected, and then you can use Zane to make sure that no one can defend from that position.
And in terms of the range for the airburst rifle, like how far can it?
I think it's up to 100 meters from what I remember.
It's pretty far.
I might remember, but it's pretty far not extremely far, because we didn't want players to use this weapon across the map. In previous Battlefield games, it actually had a bit more range than that, but we wanted to make it more of like a medium close quarters focused weapon. Of course, 100 meters is already pushing it, but essentially.
Cool. And for the perseverance trait, so if, for example, I kill an enemy and I get my health regenerated, does it stop regenerating if I get attacked or damaged by someone?
Yes, it follows the normal rules of health regeneration, be it if you heal with like the stim pistol or a health crate, or the passive health regeneration that you normally have. Yeah. Whenever you get shot, it will interrupt the healing for a duration until you get out of combat, essentially.
Okay, I expect a lot of players would want to know. So, where do you expect Zane to fit in terms of like gameplay in the current specialist roster?
Well, I think it's going to be another good choice to push in like game modes like Rush or Breakthrough. Similar to, for example, how McKay can be very effective to go through like tight spaces and things like this. I think probably a space sort of similar to Dozer in a way, but there's two clear things between like the trait and the XM, which they might both be used in slightly different ways. But you can just go and clear out a place and then push right after and make the best out of your trait, essentially. So it's a pretty big unlocker for your team, I would say. So if you struggle to push through a certain point, then you can use Zane to push through.
Okay, it's going to be really helpful there. And in terms of team play, do you see him as a great combination with any specific other specialists?
Well, I think like many of the assaults, the synergy you can get is pretty strong with most of the supports, for example, but also with, recons that can actually just spot for you, so you can understand, there's someone behind this piece of cover.
Yeah, definitely. The throwing knife, the new gadget for Season 3. So let's get into it.
Oh, yes. So for people that play previous Battlefield games, more specifically, I would guess Battlefield 5 and Battlefield Hardline, we had throwing knives in the past, and we really wanted to make another throwing knife. Throwing knife is a one-hit kill weapon that you throw. It's very quick to throw it. It's a weapon. It's very agile, throwable, because we have it in the grenade slot. So you will swap it out for a grenade in general. You have 3 of those. You can, of course, throw them, hit the target. If you miss, you can pick them up. You can also get them back from the ammo pouches from drop players. So it's a very nice throwable that you can use to be on the move in close quarters. Throw the knife, go and pick it up, hit the target, go and pick it up, and it's very fun and rewarding weapon. We have a unique treatment when it comes to like the hit sound, for example, when you hit with a throwing knife, and it feels very, very satisfying.
It feels very, very responsive as well.
It is very responsive, yes.
That brings us to the battle pass for this season. So it works exactly the same as in the previous seasons. We've got 100 tiers, 30 free tiers. The gameplay content, such as the weapons, the specialists in the vehicle, they're all earnable through gameplay. Then you have the premium tiers, which include the cosmetics. New this season is XP boosts as a functionality in the battle pass. Can you talk a little bit about this, Florian?
Yes, so at certain tiers in the battle pass progression, you will unlock some XP boost. Those will activate immediately as soon as you unlock them. And yeah, they will give you additional XP throughout gameplay. They will only run during gameplay, of course. So yeah, it's going to be a nice extra XP.
More XP.
More XP.
Awesome. Cool. So that brings us to the end of the content for this season. So as a summary, we have a new specialist, new map, 3 new weapons, 2 new vault weapons, 1 new vehicle, and a gadget, and of course, new shinies in the battle pass. I'd like to talk about the balance changes and just some other updates and improvements we made in the season. New ping system, Florian. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we've made some changes to the ping system. We've made some evaluations actually over the first year of Battlefield 2042, and we've realized that with 64 to 128 players, the information that is shared with the ping can get actually lost quite a bit. Yeah. There's a lot of things that the player has to think about in real time, and things like the location pings, for example, they actually are hard for most players to really understand what they actually mean. And the game is really fast at times. It makes most of those pings sometimes outdated very quickly. So you're trying to ping somewhere, and first you might not know what that person actually means, but that information may not be up to date anymore. So what we've leaned towards is to try to make things more contextual, but also a secondary goal was to make the system a bit more responsive. Before, we had to try to understand whether you wanted to place a location ping or a danger ping, which meant that we actually had to add some delay into the system. So we've removed that delay. Now all the pings are instant, and they will directly place a ping contextually, for example, if you ping a vehicle, if you ping like an objective or something. But also now when you ping an enemy soldier, it will spot instead of placing a danger ping. You can still place a danger ping if you press the button twice, but now the spot will make that information always very accurate and up to date. It's not a very long spot, but it will make that information easier to, like, for other players in your team to actually read.
So I guess as a summary, the information of all the pings is just easier to digest, more streamlined.
Exactly.
Cool. So Alex, we also have the new vehicle categories in Season 3. We talked about this before in previous Dev Corners. They're finally here, so do you want to explain how they work?
Yeah, so we're finally rolling them out, and they're going to consist of like separating the vehicles into like new places. It's like light and armor transport, then light and heavy armor, then air combat, air transport, and the jets.
Yep.
So I think like the part that everyone wants to hear is that jet and combat helis are going to be separated.
Yeah, that's the biggest point of feedback we had from players, so I'm excited to finally see those separated. And folks, let us know your feedback, how the new categories feel, if you want to see any further changes, or if you're happy with this. Brings us to CPU performance optimization for you. Florian, we made some nice changes there.
Yeah, we've made some pretty big optimization, most specifically for high-end machines. So players with like high-end CPUs will get a pretty significant performance boost that they should be able to feel. And on top of that, we also made some adjustments to how input feels in the game. There might be some extra input improvements into that patch. So hopefully things will feel a bit better in Season 3.
Yeah, awesome. So we usually don't talk too much about performance optimization because it really can differ from system to system, especially for PC players. But we're looking forward to like seeing a nice boost for high-end systems here. So let us know, folks, if you notice a difference or not. Then Alex, another one for you. Improved aim assist for vertical recoil.
Yes. So we made a small change on how the aim assist works. And it's basically, we noticed that every time that the aim assist triggered and you were on target, aim assist and fighting the vertical recoil with your input device were fighting each other, like constantly fighting each other. So now what we did is that when the aim assist is triggered, then the input that you are giving to the machine, it's like half. Yeah. Well, not exactly half, but it's reduced. So that way, there will be less jitteriness behavior between like what the aim assist is trying you to do and what you're trying to do. So it's going to be like more, you're going to be able to stay on target easier.
Okay, awesome. And I think this one is also one where we had a lot of feedback from players that especially like the vertical, like it just didn't stay on point, so that should feel much smoother now. And again, folks, let us know how it feels, if it feels better, or if you feel further changes are still necessary. Another one for you, Alex. Any further weapon balance changes you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, this is the sad part.
Or not.
Or no, depending on which side are you on. So yeah, we made more balance changes. I'm not going to cover them all. They are in the patch notes. But the significant ones that I want to call out is basically the first thing is that we noticed that some people were using, and more people every patch, were using the sniper rifles as an offensive weapon in close combat quarter situation. And they were basically piggybacking on the fact that they had a one-shot kill range on body. So they were basically, putting the sniper against another person at 1 meter, and doesn't matter where you hit, you kill. So we're removing that mechanic. Like normally, sniper rifles are 2 shots on the body to kill, so that will be the same situation even at 5 meters. Okay. I think the SWS-10 was the only one that still remained that mechanic. So now it's gone. Now the Gold, the S10, and the DXR all are going to be 2 shots in all ranges. Okay. So that's, I think, the most significant one. Then I think everyone will be happy to know that the Advances no longer has a 4-shot kill range. It's now in line with the other machine guns. So it's not going to be the menace that it is today in close combat quarter situations. So that's good. Especially with a new map where there's plenty of space to that. We don't want to see the Advances dominating even harder. And the other change is that the NTW 50 got a pretty substantial buff against light armor vehicles. Okay. So like the small helicopters or the quad bikes, the Polaris that we launched in the previous patch. So the NTW is going to be way more effective against that type of vehicle, like it should. I think it's like in a pretty good spot now.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Alex. So this brings us to the end of like all the new things in Season 3. Any final comments you would like to share with the community before we stop for today?
I think they're going to love Season 3, and I think they're also going to love the future updates going into Season 3 that we will talk about in the future.
Yes. I mean, I can already share, like, folks, the next update brings the following map rework for Manifest, so that's coming your way. Looking forward to getting that in your hands. Anything from you, Alex?
Yeah, I think Season 3 overall, not only the launch pack, but what we're preparing for the following updates, it's like jam-packed with good stuff. So I think it's going to be like a really good time to jump into the game.
I mean, we did talk about the specialist rework as well, so that's still planned for 3.2.
Yes.
Awesome. So there's one more thing. In December, we've got a free access period coming up. So if you haven't had a chance to play 2042, or maybe you've got some friends who want to jump in, we've got free play days coming for Xbox on December 1st until December 4th, Steam from December 1st until December 5th, and on PlayStation from December 16th until December 23rd. You can find the full information on this on our Battlefield website, so go check it out, and obviously we're looking forward to seeing you in-game. So that's all we have for today's Dev Corner. Alex, Florian, thank you so much for being here again. And folks, we hope you will enjoy everything that's new in Season 3, and we'll see you on the battlefield.